Travel Saturday with Sarah and Ed on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.
With Visit New Jersey. From sky to shore, from sun to snow. With winning historic cities.
See visitnj.org.
They're back. Ed Finn, travel journalist, Sarah Slattery, the travel expert, and every week giving us so much info on going on your holidays. Loads of new routes, and Sarah, you've told me there's 26 new routes, sister, that you can travel on.
Yeah, 26 new routes. There's actually probably a few more. I wrote the article, and I think there's probably a few more I've added in since.
Right,
but
so we'll go to the podcast for that one instead.
Dublin, Ireland has become the hub of the world.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. There's such great choice for people. If you haven't booked your holiday yet, there's loads of new routes, and the great news as well is that's where the best value is, because so many people don't know about them, so that's where you're going to find the best deals too. Exciting
ones, I think, as well, like, Trina, Tel Aviv, right? Now Tel Aviv was supposed to start before COVID, the direct flight from Dublin to Tel Aviv. That was put on hold. It's back now. It started on the 26th of March. Amazing place. You can do Israel, Jordan, fantastic, really, really good direct flight. I mean, it's going to open up the whole thing. The other one I love as well, Cleveland, Ohio, with Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus is going to fly for the first time ever 4 times a week. They're also doing Hartford, Connecticut. That whole area, you've got Boston, New York, Chicago, Washington, Seattle. Now you've got Cleveland, and that opens up all the Lakeland, the Great Lakes. Chicago, I did a fabulous road trip there before, all around Rockford, Galena, Springfield, down where Michael Jackson was from, Gary. We went into Indianapolis back up to Chicago. Right. The real Midwest America. I mean, I ended up in the John Deere tractor factory at one stage, right? And I was saying to your man, I don't know if the listeners are mad about making tractors, but we'll have a look anyway. 40 minutes later, I fell asleep on the little train, I swear to God. It was like they were dipping all the metal, the rivets, I was there. But the John Deere tractor factory, wow. And of course, Detroit is around that area as well. Yeah. The John Henry Ford, the connection with Cork. The Ford factory is amazing. But like, it's real Midwest America, soda fountains, hot dogs, the corn dogs. But Cleveland, it's going to be great for people. I think the Rock and Roll House of Fame is there as well in Cleveland. Do you know what? It's great just to have another new destination. I think there's like 16 American direct flights to different destinations now, which is incredible for our little island when you think about it. Ones that really stood out for me, they've been announced a long time now, but still important to mention them, are Kos in Greece, because both Ryanair and Aer Lingus are both flying twice a week to Kos. So there's going to be really good value there, particularly if you go off season. Accommodation is a bit dear, July, August, but if you go off season, there's going to be huge bargains there, and you can take the boat trip over to Bodrum as well in Turkey from there. And then Brindisi in Puglia is another big one, because again, you've Ryanair and Aer Lingus both competing for that route twice a week, both flying on the same days as well, so there will be big discounted airfares on that route, and Puglia is just amazing. If you haven't been to Puglia, for me it was one of the most impressive places I've been in Europe for the last, Matera which is actually next to Puglia. It's not technically in Puglia. And Alberobello, the towns with the gorgeous trolleys, Yeah, the little houses, they look like little upside down cones. Yeah, and beautiful. You've got like the towns there, Poliano Amare and Lecce and all sorts of amazing places. Puglia is, when you just know, you can tell somebody you're going to love it, because it is absolutely stunning.
Can I say, this might sound like a very blonde question now, where's Puglia?
I've never heard
of
Puglia.
It's like, if you look at Italy, I suppose it would be the heel of Italy. The heel, that would be the place. But
I can't believe I've never heard of it.
It's amazing.
The food is incredible as well, and again, very, very reasonable. It's beautiful.
Ryanair fly into Bari, and now we have flown into Bari for the last couple of years, but now you've got Brindisi. So what's lovely about it is you've got Bari in the north, and you've got Brindisi in the south, so you could actually fly into one and out of the other and do the whole lot. But that would be, if you want to do a road trip and want to do it properly, that would be what I'd say would be the best thing to do. But even in and out of Brindisi, if you get those values, there's so much down the very south of Puglia as well.
Come here, what are the drivers like, by the way, over there? I mean, sometimes I'm a bit nervous driving abroad. Are they crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say to you, Sicily I drove in once and I was nearly run off the road by truck drivers. Like, they're mad there, right? But that's Sicily. But Puglia isn't as bad, but they are. Italy is the most expensive country in the world for getting car insurance, Trina, so work it out yourself.
Do you know what I noticed actually when I was in Rome? They're all going around in smart cars and Fiat 500s. They all have really tiny cars,
because of the parking. Because of all the lovely little exactly, but they're
tiny
brilliant
little roads.
And of course the Vespas, you have to be careful of the Vespas. There's a new route to Trieste as well, which just started. Trieste up in the north, which is absolutely stunning as well. That's really, really nice. So Italy's getting loads and loads of new routes.
Yeah.
There's one I wanted to mention, that place that I discovered as well a few years ago, Norway, right? Now, Norway is beautiful. It's like the land of the trolls. It's like sort of Lord of the Rings stuff. But there's a new flight direct from Dublin with Vilderoo Airlines. That's Wild. That's Wideroe. Now they're going to fly Thursday and Sunday from Dublin to Bergen. Bergen is over on the west coast of Norway. There's the most amazing train you can take from Oslo to Bergen. It takes 6 hours. Now, it's one of the bucket list train journeys of the world. And you go over the mountains and then you arrive into Bergen. Now, fjords, you know, those cruises that you see there, the beautiful fjords all up the coast of Norway. Bergen, it's a UNESCO again. It's, you know, the most pretty little town that you'd ever go to. All the coloured houses. People go there for the fjords. I mean, the fjords are completely unique.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see now that we've got a direct flight to Bergen. So you can go into Bergen, return if you want. But I would say do that, but go to, like, Oslo is also lovely. I did the Northern Lights up in Tromsø as well, which of course is later on in the year. Beautiful experience that. Like, so Norway is a really
Did you see them when you were there?
I did. Yeah,
Some people
I saw
miss them, don't they?
Yeah, really, really nice in October. And I saw them in Finland in March as well, up in Oulu, which is up Arctic Circle stuff. So great. The lights were flying.
Your
it was
face
great.
is lighting up with the thoughts of that. It must have been an experience.
It's a part. I mean, that whole part of the world up there is so unspoilt and beautiful. Now, Norway is known to be expensive, but the hotels and getting there and stuff isn't expensive at all. To stay there is really not dear, you know. But the food is incredible, and the people are so nice and friendly. But it's just a unique place. But Bergen, I would say, if you haven't been there, lads, have a look at it, because you're going to love it. And there's trains and fjords, and you can do all mad stuff that's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I've never been to Norway. I
Another
really
place.
want to go.
Another place. I can't get over it.
All coming out of the woodwork today, Trina, here.
I'd love to.
Well, you'd have to go. Listen, you'd
go
love.
now.
You can do a cruise, up there, but like Bergen and Oslo.
I don't think anywhere is that expensive anymore. I mean, years ago, Scandinavia had the reputation of being so expensive, but sure, look how dear we are.
Look where we're living.
Yeah, I
Look
don't
where
think
we're living.
And Finland is fabulous.
You
I mean,
know?
people think Finland is in Scandinavia. Of course, it's not at all. Finland has the euro, and it is a fabulous country. I mean, you know, loads of flights with Finnair there as well. But like, that is another. Helsinki we'll do another time. But I mean, that is just the most beautiful country as well. And the Finns are great fun altogether. Like, they're really nice people. But I mean, the new route, La Rochelle is another one in France there that I saw there from Cork on the 4th of June. That's going to fly. La Rochelle, beautiful spot as well. Talking about new routes, by the way, there's a new route as well, ferry, for anyone who loves the ferries. There's a lovely new route from Rosslare to Bilbao in the north of Spain.
Oh, how long
with
does that
Brittany
take?
Ferries, 23 hours. I'm going on it soon, so I'll come back with a little review. I'm doing Bilbao, the Guggenheim, San Sebastian, all the food there, and I'm going to do a little wine region. I'm bringing the car over. I'm going to fill it up and bring it back with loads of little goodies and stuff.
Do you know what? I actually like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of an adventure as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Stena have a brilliant new ship coming on, the Rosslare Cherbourg as well.
Yeah.
On the 30th of June, which is going to be a fabulous new ship. So like, that's going to be like a little mini cruise, because you know, you can do your cabins and all that stuff as well. So, but I'm really looking forward. I've never sailed
I believe
to
the ship
Spain.
is lovely, actually.
The Salamander is the Brittany Ferries one.
The Brittany Ferries one to Bilbao, because before there was a few years ago a ship, but it was kind of like a freight kind of ship, you know, whereas this is more like a cruise ship. I believe it's lovely.
Yeah.
So it would be a great I did a road trip around there years ago, and then we flew into Bilbao and we flew out of Biarritz, but it's a gorgeous place to do a road trip. The Winelands, Rioja is amazing, and it's right beside Bilbao.
But also doing something like that takes 23 hours. It could be a little good taster to see if you fancy going on a cruise.
Yeah.
Because some people,
it might
never
be
been on the
it
water.
might be a bit rougher than you get
No, but
in the
that's
net.
true. I mean, yeah, because coming into the
Might put
summer
you
now,
off.
I mean, the Bay of Biscay, where the ferry goes through, you know, it isn't always the calmest, but in summer it'll be lovely.
Yeah,
but in
summer
winter,
it should be
I mean, when
okay.
we did school tours years ago, remember October and Easter were the dates. Should the sea, you were thrown around the ships. Remember going to Paris? You were lucky to get there alive at all. You know, but I mean,
That's
it was
true.
just
I actually remember that.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, this will be nice in the summertime, but definitely I agree with you. I've done little mini cruises with like 400 people for a week with Azamara and stuff, and it was enough for me as well. I wouldn't be like hugely into the massive big ships or anything, but so I think this is going to be very enjoyable for the 23 hours. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
You can fill us in when you come.
I will, absolutely.
I love the big cruise ships, by the way. The bigger the better. Once there's not loads of people. No, I love them. One thing that you mentioned there about La Rochelle, we should really probably mention the new routes from Cork and Shannon and Knock, because, well, La Rochelle is from Cork, which is great. There's also extra flights to Rome with Ryanair from Cork, and Seville. There's flights to Seville from Cork as well.
Beautiful.
So lots of good new routes there. And a big one for anyone living in the West, I'm sure you know, there's Lanzarote, direct flight to Lanzarote from Knock. But there's also Heathrow. Big news this year for them, flights to Heathrow. So, I mean, you may not think flights to London are a big deal, but to be able to connect to so many different destinations from Heathrow now, from Knock, and like you would always have to, people would always have had to go to Dublin. Like they can fly to America, to Australia, to Asia, anywhere just via Heathrow with a 2-hour stop. So that's fantastic news for anybody.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine from the garden. They have a garden club over in Knock, near Knock, and they're going to the Chelsea Flower Show on the 23rd of May for a few days as well. So
how handy is that?
Yeah,
then?
and I went there last year for the first time. By the way, it was brilliant.
It's great, the onward connections. It's a fantastic to have it. And then from Shannon we have we've Porto, which we mentioned last week. We talked about, and Naples. So anybody looking for the Amalfi Coast, direct flights to Naples, and a new one. It was a new one on me actually until I started researching it. Béziers in France. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Béziers. Yeah. It's down in Languedoc near Carcassonne, Montpellier, that kind of area. But really, the flights are really cheap from
and that
there.
area is really affordable as well. Beautiful, gorgeous food.
And there's loads of beaches along there as well. So
absolutely.
It's further, and like Carcassonne would be a gorgeous place to visit. So for somebody looking for something that little bit different, that's probably a new one on most people. I think it's called Beziers, Béziers, and that's many times a week they're flying now from Shannon. A couple of times a week, I think. But anyway, that'll be going right through the summer.
Okay, fabulous.
Brilliant.
So they'll go up on the podcast, all your new routes. Thanks so much for coming in, Sarah and Ed.
Thanks a million, Trina.
Travel Saturday with Sarah and Ed on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.
With Visit New Jersey. From sky to shore, from sun to snow. With Winning Historic Cities.
See visitnj.org.